What's up, guys? It's your boy Barca Boy 103. Today we're gonna be doing the match preview for Barcelona versus Real Sociedad in La Liga. A big affair this weekend. I had another huge clash that will be taking place this match day. A very important match for Barcelona, in which 3 points are an absolute must by any means necessary. In a different scenario as well, we're in a new stadium, our second stadium of the season against a Sociedad team that's good on paper but haven't been performing at all this season whatsoever. But before we get into it, make sure you guys smash that like button down below, and let's try and get to 200 likes on this video. It would be very much appreciated. And also, if you are new, make sure you subscribe down below if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Kickoff time for this match will be taking place at 6:30 p.m. local time, so we do have an early kickoff for the first time this season, the earliest one, second earliest one I believe possible. And this match will be taking place at the Luis Campos Stadium in Montjuic. We thought last season it was over, but we are back. The plan now is that every single home game will be played at the Montjuic until the Camp Nou is ready. The reports are saying that hopefully after the October international break, maybe right after or before El Clasico, where we do have some home games, that is the plan for Barcelona to return. So we will have Montjuic for this match midweek against PSG, and then of course for the foreseeable future until the return to the Camp Nou is made a reality. Let's start off by taking a look at the league table, where Barcelona are currently sat in second place in La Liga on 16 points. After playing 6 matches, we have 5 wins and 1 draw, so 2 points away from a perfect record, which of course first place Real Madrid do have 6 out of 6 wins, 18 points in total, a 2-point advantage. We have a 3-point cushion on third place Villarreal, and we do have a 5-point cushion on fourth place. Bloody Espanyol are still lingering in a UCL spot. Absolutely incredible. But as I hinted in the intro, the reason why this match day is so significant is when you look at the top teams and see who they're facing, it is the Madrid derby. Atletico Madrid hosting Real Madrid at the Wanda Metropolitano. A good opportunity to hopefully capitalize on Madrid dropping points. We need a draw or an Atletico Madrid win. They are currently sat around mid-table. Atletico Madrid, so even if they do win, it's not going to impact us whatsoever, but we do need Real Madrid to drop points, and if they do, we will of course go level on points, but we would be ahead with a +4 goal difference. That's also important as well. Hopefully get some goals against Real Sociedad to hold that cushion in the top of the La Liga, and of course that'll just make the El Clasico coming up at the end of next month even more interesting and more intriguing than it already is. So of course the Madrid game will be taking place later on today, so we will know the result going into this match, and that's of course going to be huge for the team to build on that confidence and of course capitalize hopefully on Real Madrid dropping points. Now, if you take a look at our opponents in Real Sociedad and where they're currently standing in the league table, they're currently sat in 16th place in La Liga on 5 points. After playing 6 matches, they have 1 win, 2 draws, and 3 losses. Currently 2 points above the relegation zone. You can see that in the last match, they did win their first league game of the season, having after of course 3 back-to-back losses. Of course, under a new manager, new regime, still same quality players, but just not getting results. Let's now take a look at our opponents in Real Sociedad. Like I mentioned, so far this season, they're playing very below their standards. Still a very quality team that have been, of course, competing for European spots in La Liga over the past few seasons. The last time we did face them was actually at the Montjuic with a 4-0 thumping of them. Of course, Araujo, I think, coming back after his injury or after not playing a run of games, having some an impact and scoring some goals. I believe Casado and Gerard Martin got their first goals of the season in this game as well. So overall, a comfortable win. I remember we got the ball having a few chances in behind, if I'm not mistaken, but overall, it was a comfortable win for Barcelona. Now, if you take a look at Real Sociedad's last 5 matches in all competition, in their last match, they did beat Mallorca 1-0, they lost to Betis 3-1, they lost to Real Madrid 2-1, they lost to Real Oviedo 1-0, and they drew 2-2 with Espanyol. Let's take a look at those last 3 games. Of course, in the last video, I already talked about the Oviedo Real Sociedad game. Let's start off with the game against Real Madrid. Ended 2-1 in Madrid's favor. I believe Madrid going 2-0 up at halftime. Dean Huijsen getting sent off before halftime. They pulled one back through a penalty. Mikel Oyarzabal scored the penalty, but they couldn't get that equalizer in the end. They played quite, poorly. They didn't look aggressive. They didn't look like they were gonna get back in this game whatsoever. Real Madrid's defense were holding in strong, and you can see from the ratings from SofaScore as well how low they were performing. Really nothing going forward. The midfield control was little to non-existent. They deservedly lost against 10 men as well. Next up, 3-1 loss to Real Betis at the Araujo Stadium, I believe it was, because the Betis have actually moved state. They're not playing the Benedito Villamarin this season, but I think this game went to, I think it was Sociedad actually scored to make it 1-0 first, or 1-1, and then Betis ended up coming back from this game. A better performance, I would say. Of course, when you're facing Real Madrid, it is a different perspective, but Aiz Mendes being by far Real Sociedad's best player of the season so far. But yet again, they just are playing mid. They're not making too many chances. They're not progressing the ball forward. Not saying that Betis were playing champagne football, but Betis were being so effective against Sociedad because Sociedad were really, stringing things together whatsoever. Another poor showing from them. And their last match in all competition was a relegation battle between Real Sociedad and Real Mallorca, with Mikel Oyarzabal getting the goal, I believe, just on the beginning of the second half. I believe around like the 50th, 49th minute or so. So, a goal right after halftime would definitely capitalize on the momentum. Very even game. Both teams that have quality, that have shown it in the last few seasons in La Liga. This is kind of like, not a derby in a sense, but it's like if you look at the Premier League, like Villa versus Newcastle, for example. That's what this game is in terms of La Liga, and we saw a narrow, tight game, and in the end, Real Sociedad were the ones on top. They got their one goal, they kept it controlled, they actually defended well in this game for the first time in quite a while. Deserved 3 points from them, but still in struggling form and struggling fashion. So overall, final thoughts on Real Sociedad. They are a team that has quality on paper, but on the pitch, they're just not showing it. They are managed by their manager, Sergio Francisco, who is struggling in the job. I could see him probably right now be on the verge of being sacked. So this game could be the nail in the coffin. It could have more implications on his job, but also means that they are going to fight very, very hard. In terms of players to look out for, I think the main one for me is Aiz Mendes in the midfield. A fantastic midfielder. He's been on form this season. They, of course, signed Carlos Soler from PSG. They have Sergio Gomez at left back, who's linked with Barcelona, former Barcelona player. Alex Ramiro, who apparently is getting picked for Spain ahead of Joan Garcia, Take Kubo, Mikel Oyarzabal. It's a very, very strong team on paper. They're just not performing, and that's the reality of it. But we know when they do perform, they are a big threat. Now, heading into this match, we do have some very, 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 very big injury updates, and unfortunately, there's as much good as there is bad. Following the match against Real Oviedo, where Raphinha was taken off due to a bit of discomfort, it has been confirmed that he does have an injury and that he will be out for 3 weeks. The club have officially announced that he will miss the PSG game, the 2 games to come now, Sociedad and Sevilla, and he also probably missed the first week after the international break, but should be back for the Clásico in no time. Hopefully he can speed up his recovery during the international break and come back right afterwards. So no Rafa until post-international break with that injury he picked up against Real Oviedo. And another player who picked up an injury and to be out for a significant time is fucking Joan Garcia, probably one of the bright lights and probably, I would say, our best player of the season so far. He was injured during the match. I know it says here he was injured in the morning. That's come out being false. He was actually injured in the last second of the Oviedo game when he made that save where he came out and charged out, and then he felt it the next morning. He's undergone surgery, and the Barcelona have announced he will be out to 4 to 6 weeks, which means he is now not only ruled out, of course, for PSG in the games to come, he is big doubt for El Clásico at the end of this month. But fortunately, we do have Chesney Fumador, who hopefully will come in and, provide some good backup for him, but a big blow and a very unfortunate injury. We all know October is our month. It's the big month, probably the 3rd biggest month of the season following, I would say, January and May, where there are a lot of big games happening for Barcelona, and he's going to miss the majority of it, 4 to 6 weeks. But again, most importantly, the surgery is successful and that he does recover as quickly and as effectively as possible. But no Joao Garcia for probably about the next month. So if he makes Clásico, that's a game changer, but he's probably gonna miss it. That would be cutting it a bit too close, but big blow. Unfortunately, that's 2 blows. But the positive side is that we do have 2 recoveries, and that is Lamine Yamal and Alejandro Balde, who have completed yesterday and today's full training session and are expected to be in the squad list for Sociedad. I doubt they'll start, probably come off the bench, then maybe start the PSG game on Wednesday. But basically 2 out in Joao Garcia and Raphinha, 2 in Lamine Yamal and Alejandro Balde. Let's now get into the lineup prediction. We're going to start with the manager, of course, Hansi Flick. I'm going to try my best to predict this lineup. I think it will be fairly straightforward to predict, barring a couple changes here and there. I do expect some rotation, and I believe that Flick will select this lineup on the screen right now with Wojciech Szczesny in goal, a back four of Eric Garcia, Ronaldo Araujo, Pau Kubarsi, and Gerard Martin, midfield 3 of De Jong, Pedri, and Olmo, front 3 of Rooney, Bargi, Lewandowski, and Rashford. So from the last match, I think he will probably only change 2 players, which of course is Rooney coming in for Rafa, and then Szczesny for Joao Garcia. Of course, De Jong will set the game after Casado started against Real Oviedo, and of course Lua coming in to replace Ferran, who started against Real Oviedo. I think he'll go with Rooney Bargi. I think that's kind of my sneaky choice for this game. Of course, he's gonna have to gain some minutes because we are gonna need him in the next few weeks with no Rafa, so he's gonna have some minutes. I think that's, you know, the one anomaly you can pick in this team. It's a pretty strong team, just barring that one change, which I think is completely fine. I don't think from Flick's perspective, Ferran Torres did maybe enough to maybe displace Lewandowski as a starting striker, and also Lua probably needs minutes as well. Again, Sociedad are strong. There's a Madrid derby, so I'm expecting maybe hopefully drop points later on today, so that means you're gonna have to go strong in this game, and that's why I feel like Flick will probably pick a fairly strong team. I think he's gonna bring back Kounde, but I don't know where. He might just stick with Eric after his goal and give him confidence. Maybe he'll put Eric in the middle and drop Araujo, but then again, Araujo played well. Then you can drop Kubarsi, but Kubarsi is our best center back by far. So it's interesting that I have a feeling he will start Kounde, but I don't know how he'll do it. I think that Rooney Bargi will probably get a start as well to get some minutes under his belt. But this is the line that I think the Hansi Flick was left for this match. But of course, in the comments down below, let me know what you think Flick will go with. Now I'm going to show you guys my lineup, what I would do if I was the Barcelona coach, and I have made a few changes from Flick's lineup prediction. I have gone with this lineup on the screen right now with Wojciech Szczesny in goal, a back four of Jules Kounde, Ronaldo Araujo, Pau Kubarsi, and Eric Garcia at left back, midfield 3 of Pedri, De Jong, and Olmo, front 3 of Ferran Torres, Lewandowski, and Rashford. So firstly, get Gerard Martin out of this team. I think Kounde deserves to start as well after his good cameo off the bench and being rested. I would go with Eric Garcia from the start at left back. He's been tried at left back 2 or 3 times now. I think he's ready to start a game, and I'm also sick and tired of Gerard Martin. I would go with Ferran instead of Rooney Bargi, just because I feel like Ferran would need that experience, especially in the game against PSG. So I'll play him on the right against Sociedad as a little bit of a buffer. Maybe bring on Rooney 20 minutes, 25 minutes to go or so. I would start with Lua up front as well, Rashford on the left. Of course, I wouldn't start either Lamine or Balde, definitely coming off the bench, I would say, with maybe 20 minutes, 15 minutes to spare. But I think this team going really strong against Sociedad and then making rotation ahead of Madrid, because Sociedad are a good team. First game back in the Montjuic, you're going to have to get players out there who are used to that kind of scenario, and this team, I think, is that case. So this is the lineup that I was selected for this match, but of course, in the comments down below, let me know if you had to pick my lineup or Flick's lineup. Time now for my score prediction. What do I believe the result will be in this match? I have gone with a Barcelona victory by 3-0. Of course, my last score prediction was correct, so I'm going hopefully here 2 for 2. I think Barcelona will end up winning. We're back at the Montjuic, proper crowd, and, you know, decent sized pitch. Yes, the stadium fans are far away against a team where hopefully we need to capitalize on a Madrid derby that will be taking place later on today. I think Flick will go fairly strong as well. A little warm-up match before the PSG game. We tend to perform really well before big UCL midweek games, and Sociedad haven't been that well, haven't been that good this season. Yes, they're a good team on paper, they can definitely cause us problems. I was really umming and ahhing about a clean sheet. I'm gonna back Szczesny, que fumador, but I do think there is a high likely chance that we will not keep a clean sheet. But the most important thing is 3 points, and I think Barcelona will win this game. I have gone with them winning this game by 3-0. But of course, in the comments down below, let me know what you think the scoreline will be. So that was a match preview for Barcelona versus Real Sociedad in La Liga. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, of course, make sure you drop a like down below, and of course in the comments down below as well, let me know your thoughts on everything we did discuss. The main thing on our firstly, of course, is your score prediction, and secondly on those lineups. Firstly, we had to pick my lineup or Flick's lineup. What do you think Flick will go with? What would you go through the manager? Let me all your thoughts down below, and of course make sure you guys subscribe down below as well if you haven't already. There will be no live watch along tomorrow. I'm gonna have to pump the brakes a little bit on live watch alongs for the next month because I am moving. So I'll try and do, of course, for the big game PSG, we force have an international break that'll give me time to move, but I am moving, so I might be a bit tight on live watch along consistency over the next month. Definitely won't miss the Sociedad one, maybe one more after the international break, but hopefully I have everything planned out, everything set up, so I won't miss too much. So no live watch along, but I will see you right afterwards for the match review. Take care, and Forza Barca.
Barça!